YouTube crew, what is going on, and welcome to Caldera. Now, the new map is out and it is absolutely fantastic. You can see some gameplay rolling here, but before you drop in, we need to make sure that your settings are correct. There's a few major things that you actually have to change. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off on controller and then work my way backwards towards graphics. I play on PC, so my graphic settings are going to be a little bit different than those on console, but for my console players, everything else is going to apply before then. Now, if you are looking to get better at Warzone, which I know a lot of you are, take a few seconds, hit the subscribe button down below. I do videos every day, just trying to help people get better at Warzone. That's it. I do comprehensive tip videos. I'm going to give you gameplay strategies. I'm going to be exploring what the best low-level Vanguard class setups are, because I know you don't have every gun leveled up. I'm going to be exploring the best way to level up guns. So, videos every day. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into controller. First things first is your button layout. This should carry directly over from what you were running in Warzone. What you were running in Warzone applies here. It is the same engine, so you can still slide cancel the same way, bunny hop, jump peek, drop shot, all that stuff. Your movement is going to feel the exact same way. Now, if you are on a normal Xbox or PlayStation controller, I would recommend running bumper, jumper, tactical flipped. You shoot with your bumpers. This takes a little bit of getting used to, but I promise you it's worth it. Bumper, jumper, tactical, people call me crazy, but this allows you to crouch, prone, slide, as well as jump without taking your right thumb off the right stick. This is going to allow you to do things like slide cancel, drop shot, jump while shooting. All of those basic movements you can do on a normal controller, and you do not need paddles or any back buttons. Now, in terms of stick layout, default invert look disabled. Minimum input dead zone for your left and right stick. If you get any stick drift, which is basically your character's moving or your crosshairs are moving without you touching the controller, you have stick drift. Put your controller down, take a look at the screen. If anything moves, figure out why you're moving and just adjust this until it stops moving. I do have some stick drift. It's up to a 0.15. I probably need a new controller soon, but that's going to prevent stick drift. You don't want any input unless you give it the input. Now, here's where we start to get a level of customization that is different from previous games. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. I run 6.6. Run what is most comfortable for you. For my console players, I would, because you don't have an FOV and your screen's basically a little bit smaller. It's a little bit like zoomed in. Try running a higher sensitivity. This is just because you can be a little bit more snappy with it, and then we'll get into our custom sensitivity per zoom. So this is our first level of customization here. Now, this is going to be set to off, which means your default ADS sensitivity multiplier is going to be 1. But what they've given us is the ability to customize our ADS sensitivity for every single zoom. So my low zoom through 4x zoom is going to be a 0.85, but everything above that I want to be a 1. And you can scale this up. If you want your low zoom 2x, 3x to be like a 0.8, then your 4, 5, 6 to be a 0.9, and your 7, 8, 9 to be a 1. You can do that. Play around with the different zooms, see what's best for you. But this is essentially your low zoom. Your low zoom 2, 3, 4 was your low zoom from Warzone. And then 5 through 9 is going to be your high zoom. I think 4x is probably a little bit, on the fence. It kind of teeters to that low zoom, high zoom. But I'm running a 0.85 and then I run a 1. Ultimately, this comes down to comfortability, but you have the option to customize it per zoom. So next up, we're going to go ahead and scroll down here. Aim response curve type is going to be dynamic. Your controller vibration, disable that. Aim assist, we want to be standard. Scale aim assist for my PC players with FOV enabled. Weapon mount, ADS and melee. Weapon mount, exit enabled. ADS behavior hold, steady aim behavior hold. You can also toggle this. This is for my snipers. This is a new setting that they went in. Basically, you can toggle your steady aim. I still run mine on hold. Equipment behavior, you want to hold this. Basically, this is for if you are cooking a frag grenade, you just want to hold that button and let it loose when you want to, instead of having to toggle it and essentially ready your stun grenade or whatever it may be. Use reload behavior, contextual tap. What this is going to be is you are going to tap to reload or to use. So if you want to pick something up, all you have to do is hit the X button. I think it's X. Is it? I think it is X. Or the square. I'm not totally familiar with PlayStation controllers, but whatever you use to pick stuff up, that is what you are going to use to essentially just tap that button as opposed to having to hold it. This also allows you to open crates faster. This also means you only have to tap to reload. So when you are out of bullets, you just got to tap that X button and you get to reload your gun. Depleted ammo enabled. Armor plate behavior, apply all. Always apply all. Do not apply one. This means you have to hold Y button. It's going to apply all the plates possible. Now, to cancel this, because I know a lot of people are going to ask about that, to cancel this, just double tap Y. You'll be good to go. You'll be able to cancel that. But make sure you have apply all. Now let's go into our movement stuff. Slide behavior, tap, so you don't want to have to hold it. You just want to be able to tap it to slide. Auto move forward, off. You don't want to move forward unless you choose to move forward. Tactical sprint, double tap. Actually, you don't want that. Don't worry about this at all. Automatic tack sprint. I run auto tack sprint, meaning if I push my left stick forward, it's going to make me tack sprint. This allows me to, slide cancel much easier, allows me to move faster and get that tack sprint reset. Now, vehicle camera, parachute auto deploy. This is the last one. Turn this off. I mean, at the end of the day, your auto deploy only happens after you pull your parachute once. So turn it off. Don't worry about it. Pull your parachute when you're close enough to the ground and just don't break your legs. So let's go ahead and jump into our audio settings here. Now, in terms of your audio mix, people always fight about this. Oh, run boost low. Oh, run boost high. Oh, run boost. I run boost high. It's what works best for my headset. You have to try it out for your headset. Different headsets have different equalizers and stuff. Figure out what works best for your headset. Some people say boost low. Some people say boost high. For me, it's boost high. Now, master volume down to 50. This is going to be like planes flying in. You're going to notice when you drop in, planes are constantly flying, both, enemy planes and just kind of AI planes, just part of the game. So turn your master volume down to 50. This is going to allow you to hear things like footsteps much louder. Music volume 0. I get the music's great. Turn it off. You don't need it. Dialogue volume 40. I set this to 40 just because I don't want to miss things like enemy UAV overhead or, enemy flying in. I don't need it at 100 where the guy is shouting in my ears. I just want it loud enough that I can hear it. Effects volume 100. This is going to be things like your bullets and stuff, so you definitely want to hear those. Effects volume at 100. Now we skip cinematics and Juggernaut. Hit marker sound effects. I have mine on classic. Let's go. Keep scrolling down. Enabled. Voice chat volume and microphone volume. This is all based on your microphone and the people you are playing with. Feel free to adjust this. I mean, my voice chat, when I play game chat, I'm constantly adjusting up and down based on who I'm playing with, based on how loud their microphone is. Last thing is war tracks as a passenger. Disable this. Please disable this. People love to listen to music while they're driving around and stuff. You don't need it. It's distracting. You're gonna miss cues like bullets being fired and enemy UAV overhead because of the war tracks. If you want to listen to it, go ahead. But if you are looking to get better, make sure you turn it off. It's going to increase your awareness. Now let's go into interface. So for interface here, because I have filters, I do not run any colorblind type or anything. The most important thing is right here in your HUD. I put this 0, 0. This is going to bring this as far into my screen as possible. It means I don't have to move my eyes nearly as much to see things like my mini map, to see things like how many bullets I have left or how many plates that I have. It's going to bring it in much, much closer. So I have mine at 0, 0. Bring it in as far in as possible. Now, mini map shape, square. As you can see here, you actually see much more of the map with it set to square. So make sure you have it set to square and make sure you have it enabled. Enabling is just going to mean that everything is in front of you. So as you are turning, your mini map also spins. So what you are looking at on your mini map is what is actually in front of you. You never have to worry about directions or anything like that. In terms of in terms of compass cardinal direction, that's totally up to you. It's not super important. Let's go ahead and jump into graphics. Now, in terms of our graphics, for my PC players, this is where my console players, I'm sorry, but this is where this is PC specific. We're going to run full screen. This should already be set up in terms of your render resolution. Make sure you have that at 100. Some people have turned that up higher. It does cause a little bit of a frame drop, but I run mine at 100. Now, in terms of VSync, make sure you have that disabled. Custom frame limit, you definitely want that in terms of, you want it at unlimited, just because you want to be running the maximum amount of frames possible. Brightness I have at 66. In terms of display gamma 2.2, highlights, make sure you have this disabled. You don't need any highlights or anything like that. And low latency mode, I have enabled plus boost. Now let's talk quality. Field of view, this is going to be preference. I run 115, have kind of found this to be my sweet spot. I would suggest anywhere from 100 to 120. It's really just based on preference. Camera movement, super important change right here. Camera movement, turn this down to 50%. This is going to basically stop your camera from shaking so much. So you really want to make sure that you have this and you change this setting. Streaming quality low, texture resolution low. You can put this on very low, but I've just found, as you can see, my VRAM kind of changes a decent amount there. But I found very low, the quality is just really bad. I've always tried to balance, having good quality and good performance. This is just a small thing that I do to increase that quality a little bit. Texture, filter, anisotropic. low, particle quality high, bullet impacts and sprays disabled, tessellation disabled, gore effects you can put on whatever you want. And what else do we got? Filmic strength 0, film grain 0. This is going to take out a lot of that graininess that you see over here, so make sure you have those. DLSS off, anti-aliasing off, depth of field disabled, motion blur both world and weapon disabled. Now for shadow map resolution, we got low, cache spot shadows, cache sun shadows enabled. I am not totally sure the reason, but hear me out on this one. I got my PC optimized by Sense Quality. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for Sense Quality. They overclocked my PC. They set all my settings up perfectly. I was running, my frames are just absolutely unreal right now. They do PC optimizations and stuff. They enabled both of those. They said it just runs much better. It's going to give you more frames. So that's what they did. Again, putting a link in the description below if you want to get your PC optimized. Particle lighting low, DirectX ray tracing disabled, ambient occlusion disabled, and screen space reflection disabled. So the last thing that I want to talk about is my NVIDIA users. I still use NVIDIA filters here. The game looks really good, but I love my game to look great, and my frames are still running really high. So in terms of my filters right here, I have my brightness and contrast. They're actually the same as my Warzone one, and the game looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Exposure, -1%, contrast, 15%, highlights, -50%, shadows, 100, gamma, 13. Now we go into color. Make sure you add these in. We have tint color at 13%, tint intensity at 18%, temperature at 0.5, and vibrance at 76.9. And the last one, just because I want to get you out of here and drop it into Caldera, is our details. Sharpen at 40%, clarity at 19%, HDR toning at 85%, and bloom at 0%. You can go ahead and, drop in, especially because I think Plunder starts tomorrow. Drop into Plunder. Go ahead and test these out. Maybe make slight adjustments as you feel necessary. Get the game looking as crisp and as good as you want it to, and then go ahead and drop in, baby. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.